View. Have you ever heard the story of the day Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who conquered half of Europe, was defeated by a horde of fluffy bunnies? No, I'm not making this up. This is a real and frankly hilarious moment from history. Let's set the scene. It's 1807. Napoleon has just signed the Treaties of Tilsit, marking a high point of his power. He's feeling pretty good about himself, as you would, and decides to celebrate with a grand rabbit hunt. He tasks his chief of staff, a guy named Alexandre Berthier, with organizing the whole affair. Berthier, wanting to impress the emperor, goes all out. He doesn't just get a few rabbits. No, he gathers thousands of them. Counts vary, but some sources say he rounded up as many as 3,000 rabbits for the big day. He had them all put in cages, ready to be released for the grand hunt. Napoleon and his top generals arrive, all geared up in their finest hunting attire, ready for some sport. So, the moment arrives. The cages are opened, and everyone raises their rifles, expecting the rabbits to scatter in fear. But that's not what happened. Not at all. Instead of running away, the entire army of rabbits turned and charged directly at Napoleon. Imagine the scene. Thousands of fluffy, twitchy-nosed bunnies swarming the most powerful man in Europe. They weren't scared. They were on a mission. The rabbits surged forward like a furry tidal wave. They swarmed his feet, climbed up his legs, and even started jumping onto his iconic greatcoat. Napoleon, the brilliant military strategist, was caught completely off guard. He tried to fight them off with his riding crop, shouting and swatting, but it was useless. There were just too many of them. His generals and hunting party were in chaos, trying to beat the rabbits back with sticks in their bare hands. But the furry horde was relentless. The Emperor of France, the conqueror of nations, was forced into a full-on retreat. He scrambled back to his imperial carriage, but the rabbits didn't give up. They pursued him, with some of the more ambitious bunnies even managing to leap into the carriage with him. The carriage driver had to whip the horses into a gallop just to escape the relentless, fluffy assault. Napoleon, breathless and probably covered in fur, sped away, defeated by an army of bunnies. So, what on earth went so spectacularly wrong? 2. It all came down to a simple, but crucial, mistake made by his chief of staff Berthier. In his eagerness to organize the perfect hunt, he hadn't sourced wild rabbits. Wild rabbits would have naturally been terrified of humans and would have fled as soon as the cages opened. Instead, Berthier had bought domesticated rabbits from local farmers. These weren't wild animals. They were essentially pets. They were used to humans. In fact, they associated humans with one thing: food. So, when they saw Napoleon and his entourage of distinguished-looking men, they didn't see predators. They saw giant, walking food dispensers. They weren't attacking him in a coordinated military assault. They were just really, really hungry and thought it was dinner time. They were charging him for a meal, not for glory. It's just an incredible image, isn't it? The man who commanded the Grande Army, who redrew the map of Europe, being chased away because his chief of staff bought the wrong kind of rabbit. It's a perfect reminder that even the most powerful figures in history can have moments of pure, absurd comedy. It shows a completely different and very human side to the legendary emperor. Think about the sheer panic and confusion. One minute you're the master of the continent, ready for a leisurely hunt. And the next, you're being mobbed by what you thought was supposed to be your prey. Napoleon's men, who had followed him into countless brutal battles, were probably stunned, watching their invincible leader being overwhelmed by a sea of fluff. This story has been told and retold over the centuries, becoming a favorite anecdote for historians and history buffs alike. It's a classic tale of hubris and comedy. Napoleon wanted to celebrate his power by dominating nature, and nature, in its own adorable way, fought back. It's a little slice of history that proves truth can often be stranger and much funnier than fiction. The man who could face down Russian and Austrian armies couldn't handle a stampede of hungry bunnies. So, the next time you see a picture of Napoleon Bonaparte, looking all stern and powerful, just remember this story. Remember the day he was forced to flee for his life, not from enemy soldiers, but from a relentless, furry army that just wanted a snack. It's one of history's most unbelievable and hilarious true tales. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this weird and wonderful story from the past, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more unbelievable true history. See you next time.